In 1969, a simple trade in a Houston music store would forever alter the sound of American country music. Willie Nelson, a songwriter with a unique voice but a stalled performing career, walked in with his prized Martin N20 classical guitar, an instrument he'd played for years. He walked out with something entirely different. A used, beat-up nylon-string acoustic that had clearly seen better days. That guitar was named Trigger. At the time, no one could have possibly known that this battered instrument would become one of the most iconic guitars in music history. It would be played on thousands of stages, heard on dozens of legendary albums, and held together more by love and sheer will than by wood and glue. So, why did Willie choose this specific, imperfect guitar? And how on earth did a second-hand instrument become a living legend? To understand Trigger, you have to understand where Willie Nelson was in 1969. He was struggling. His career as a frontman wasn't taking off. The Nashville establishment, the producers and gatekeepers of country music, just didn't get him. They didn't like his voice. They didn't like his unique, behind-the-beat phrasing. And more than anything, they didn't like the way his guitar sounded. Willie's style was completely different from the norm. He didn't play like a traditional country guitarist with those sharp, twangy licks. He approached the instrument like a jazz player, using complex chords, unusual voicings, and long, flowing melodic runs. He was drawn to the smooth, warm tone of nylon strings, which are softer and more expressive than steel strings, much closer to the nuance of the human voice. So when he saw that old Martin N20 in the shop worn, cracked, even missing a piece of its pickguards, something about it just called to him. It wasn't shiny, it wasn't new. But when he picked it up and played it, it sounded right. It sounded like him. He bought it on the spot for $750. He named it Trigger after Roy Rogers' famous and trusted horse. At first, Trigger seemed like just another tool of the trade. But soon, something much deeper began to develop between the man and his instrument. They grew together. They wore together. They survived together. As Willie's career finally started to break out of the Nashville mold and into the outlaw country movement, Trigger was right there with him, defining his sound. By the mid-70s, Trigger was at the absolute center of Willie's music, especially on his landmark 1975 album, Red-Headed Stranger, the record that finally made him a superstar. If you listen closely to the hit song from that album, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, that gentle, intimate, unforgettable guitar intro, that's Trigger. There are no effects, no studio tricks. It's just Willie, alone with his guitar, telling a story. And what a story that guitar could tell if it could talk. Over the decades, Trigger has traveled millions of miles with Willie. It's played on every continent except Antarctica. It's graced the stages of Farm Aid, the Grand Ole Opry, and even the White House, as well as countless dive bars and honky-tonks in between. But all that fame and relentless work came at a cost. Years of constant playing, Willie's aggressive strumming style, and the harsh realities of life on the road took their toll on the instrument. The guitar's spruce top has split multiple times. The neck has been repaired again and again. The original bridge has fallen off so many times that Willie now famously uses a piece of duct tape to help hold it in place. But let's be clear, this isn't just a simple piece of hardware store tape. It's black gaffer's tape, the kind used in studios. Wrapped around the base of the neck, holding everything together like a makeshift cast. The body is covered in cracks, filled with epoxy, a few cigarette burns from Willie's old habit, and layers of grime built up from decades of sweat, smoke, and time. There's even a huge second hole worn right through the wood from his unique playing style. Yet despite all that damage, or maybe, just maybe, because of it, Trigger sounds unlike any other guitar in the world. Music experts and luthiers have tried to explain its unique voice. Some say the wood has opened up over time, becoming more resonant and vibrant. Others believe the wear and tear has created unique tonal qualities, a kind of musical patina that can't be replicated. But Willie himself says it best: I've played it so much, it knows the songs better than I do. Trigger isn't just an instrument. It's a living, breathing part of Willie's music. It's almost like a third member of his band. In fact, his longtime bassist, the late B. Spears, once joked, "If Trigger ever dies, we'll all be out of a job," because Willie Nelson doesn't just play Trigger, he depends on it. His playing style is as unique as the guitar itself. He's right-handed, but plays it as if he were left-handed, meaning the strings are essentially upside down for a traditional player. The low E string is on the bottom, and the high E is on top. Most guitarists would find this impossible to adapt to, but Willie taught himself that way as a kid and simply never changed. He also plays it almost exclusively without a pick, using only his thumb and fingers. This fingerstyle technique is why his sound is so soft, so personal, and so close to the feeling of singing. And over the years, Trigger has developed quirks of its own. It goes out of tune constantly, sometimes even in the middle of a song. Willie doesn't care. He just bends the notes back into place with his fingers, as if he's shaping clay. The guitar squeaks, it rattles, it hums. But to fans, those aren't flaws, they are its signatures. You can hear the history in every single note. In 2004, the unthinkable happened. Trigger was stolen from Willie's tour bus. For a few days, the nation seemed to hold its breath. News outlets covered the story like a national crisis. Thankfully, it was recovered within days, found wrapped in a blanket in a dumpster. Willie publicly said he forgave the thief, and he still plays that same guitar today. Museums have offered millions of dollars to acquire Trigger. The Country Music Hall of Fame has begged to display it behind glass, but Willie always refuses. "It's not a museum piece," he once said. "It's my workhorse." In 2015, a legendary guitar company, Fender, even honored Trigger with a limited edition replica, a testament to its cultural impact. But for Willie, nothing can replace the original. The broken, taped-together, soulful old guitar that's been with him through addiction, divorce, massive IRS troubles, near bankruptcy, and global, enduring fame. Trigger has survived it all, and so has Willie. In many ways, they're the same now, worn, weathered, but utterly unbreakable. There's a famous photo often shared among fans. It shows Willie asleep in a van, his head resting on Trigger as if it were a pillow. That single image says everything you need to know. This isn't just a guitar. It's a companion, a confidant, a co-writer, a survivor. After more than 50 years and 10,000 shows, Trigger remains in Willie Nelson's hands every single night, singing the songs that defined a genre, a generation, and a man who refused to change for anyone. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow, we'll step into the studio and explore one of Willie's most surprising masterpieces, an album of pop standards that defied all expectations and became one of his biggest hits. This is Willie Nelson Daily. We'll see you tomorrow.